Act 44. The bustling scene has come to an end, and Bao Yu departs. Time: the 19th year of autumn and winter in the Red Chamber. Location: Ronggua Mansion, Pailing. Character: Jia Zheng, Jia Baoyu, Zhen Baoyu, Zhenningjia, Jia Huan, Jia Lan, Shui Baochai, Jia Lian, and monks, among others. Character information card. Name: Jia Lan. Gender: male. Alias: Lanpoi Proterlan. Identity: son of Li Wan. Personality: sensitive self-esteem, diligent and enterprising. Great-grandmother: Jia Mother. Grandparents: Jia Zheng, Lady Wang. Father: Jia Zhu, died young. Mother: Li Wan. Uncle: Jia Baoyu. Jia Lan and Xiao Ge are both fifth-generation direct descendants of the Ronggua Mansion. After the Ronggua Mansion encountered a series of changes, Jia Zheng became even more concerned about Baoyu's studies, ordering him to send an essay every few days. Baoyu felt frustrated in his heart, but he did not dare to resist his father, so he had to grit his teeth and study hard. That day, Jia Zheng was chatting with a servant in the study when someone came to report that Lord Zhen from the south had come to visit. This Lord Zhen is the father of Zhen Baoyu, Zhenningjia, who made a mistake in the previous years and was dismissed from his position. He has now been pardoned and reinstated in office, and this time he has come to the capital to thank the emperor for his grace. Before, people from the Zhen family had come to visit and even said that Bao Yu and their own Zhen Baoyu were quite similar. However, at that time, everyone thought they were just saying it to please grandmother Jia. Unexpectedly, when Zhenningjia came this time, after seeing Bao Yu, he was also extremely surprised, exclaiming that Bao Yu and his own son Zhen Baoyu were truly very similar. A few days later, Mrs. Zhen also brought her son, Zhen Baoyu. When Jia Zheng saw Zhen Baoyu, he found that their appearances were very similar and that Baoyu was also talented in literature. He was very surprised and called Baoyu, Jia Huan, and Jia Lanan. As soon as Baoyu saw Zhen Baoyu, he felt a strong sense of familiarity and remembered seeing him in a dream before. In that moment, he felt even more connected to him. Zhen Baoyu saw Baoyu and also had this feeling in his heart, couldn't help but think, this person not only shares the same name and appearance as me, there must be some deep connection between us. I have already understood some truths, why not talk to him about it? But since it's our first meeting, I don't know if his thoughts are the same as mine. With such thoughts in mind, Zhen Baoyu sincerely advised Baoyu, telling him, "When I was young, I also detested those clichés. But as I grew older and met many distinguished gentlemen, I gradually realized that writing and speaking could also be a way to achieve moral and verbal accomplishments. In this way, one would not disappoint their father and teacher's upbringing and teachings, so I gradually abandoned some thoughts from my youth." This statement greatly disappointed Baoyu. After sending Zhen Baoyu away, he gloomily returned to his room. Bao Chai curiously asked, "Is Zhen Baoyu really similar to you?" Baoyu replied, "In terms of appearance, we are similar, but he always talks about things like economy of writing, so it seems he is also a parasite." 3. Seeing him, "I don't even want my own appearance anymore." Baoyu said helplessly, "What you said is not right. How can you give up your appearance? Moreover, what other people say is also right. As a man, you should strive to make a name for yourself. You can't be like you, only thinking about frivolous things all the time." Upon hearing this, Baoyu's heart felt even more uncomfortable, and he even started to feel the onset of a sickness. For a moment, he didn't speak, only dumbly smiled. Bao Chai thought that Baoyu was throwing a tantrum again, so she ignored him as well. After a few days, Bao Yu's illness became more severe and he also became more confused. One day, Bao Yu suddenly collapsed and lost consciousness, causing a commotion in the Rongwu mansion. Lady Wang called for a doctor, who said that there was no hope of saving him and asked everyone to prepare for his funeral. Just at that moment, a servant suddenly ran in and said, "A monk has arrived outside, holding the jade that the second master lost, and he says he wants 10,000 taels of silver as a reward." Zhao Lian didn't believe it and said, "Didn't we already have a fake jade incident last time? Besides, people nowadays are not reliable, so what's the use of that jade?" Before Zhao Lian could finish speaking, the monk had already burst in on his own, without saying a word, and ran straight into Bao Yu's room. Zhao Lian hurried to stop him, anxiously saying, "There are only women in the room. What are you, a wild creature, running around for?" The monk ignored Zhao Lian and only said, "It'll be too late if we don't hurry." Before Lady Wang could react, the monk had already rushed into the room, walked to Bao Yu's Kong, held up the jade in his hand, bent down next to Bao Yu's ear, and called out, Bao Yu, your precious jade has returned." Just as the monk finished speaking, Bao Yu opened his eyes. The monk handed him the jade, and Bao Yu held it tightly at first, then held it up to examine it closely before standing up. Seeing this, everyone's sadness turned to joy, and they all became happy. After Bao Yu woke up, drank porridge, ate a meal, and suddenly fell down again. In a daze, he felt his soul leaving his body, being pulled by a monk to a gate, above which was written, "The land of true reality." On both sides of the gate hung a pair of couplet. "The false goes, the true comes, the true wins over the false, the non-existent has its origins, the non-existent is not non-existent." After passing through the archway, they arrived at a house. Bao Yu saw a book titled The 12 Beauties of Jinling and had just flipped through a few pages when he saw Yuanyang waving at him and saying, "Why are you daydreaming again? Miss Lin asked for you." Bao Yu quickly put down the book, joyfully walked out. On the way, he unexpectedly saw the Yu sisters, Qingwen, Madame Foam, and others. Suddenly, he saw the monk again. The monk walked up to him, pushed him suddenly. Bao Yu staggered and fell down with a loud cry. Originally, when everyone saw Bao Yu fainting again and crying, they saw him slowly waking up. Afterwards, Bao Yu's health improved day by day and slowly recovered. Several days later, the monk returned and asked for 10,000 taels of reward silver from the Rongwu mansion. When Bao Yu saw the monk, he realized that he was exactly the same as the monk he saw when his soul left his body, as if he understood something in his heart. Bao Yu asked the monk, "May I ask if Master came from the realm of the void?" The monk said, "What illusion is there? It's just a matter of coming and going. Let me ask you, where did your jade come from?" Bao Yu was stunned. For a moment he had no words to respond. The monk laughed again and said, "You don't even know your own origins, yet you come to ask me." Bao Yu felt as if he had been struck on the head and suddenly said, "You don't need silver anymore. I will return the jade to you." With that, despite everyone's attempts to stop him, Bao Yu handed the jade over to the monk. Afterwards, Bao Yu began to study diligently, as if he had changed. Not long after, he and Jia Lan both participated in the imperial examination and surprisingly both passed. However, strangely, after the exam was over, Bao Yu disappeared and no one knew where he went. When Bao Yu and Jia Lan both passed the imperial examinations, the emperor was very pleased. Thinking of the deceased Yuan Chun, he pardoned the crimes of Jia Shi and Jia Zhen, restored their hereditary official positions, and returned all the confiscated properties. At this time, Jia Rong had already fulfilled Dai Yu's last wish and escorted her remains back to Suzhou for burial. The deceased grandmother Jia and Aunt Shui were also sent back to Jinling by Jiazheng for burial. That day, Jiazheng was traveling by boat to Pilin when suddenly it started snowing heavily from the sky. The boat stopped and anchored at a quiet place. Jiazheng sat in the cabin writing a letter home. When he was writing about Baoyu, he suddenly saw a person standing at the bow of the boat. The person was bald, barefoot, wearing a large red cape, and he bowed down to Jiazheng. Jiazheng hurried out of the cabin. Before he could see clearly who the person had already bowed 4 times. Jiazheng was greatly surprised. Just as he was about to return the greeting, he took a closer look and realized that the person was actually the missing Baoyu. Jiazheng quickly asked, "Is it Baoyu? Why are you dressed like this? And how did you get here?" Baoyu also remained silent, his facial expression seeming to be both happy and sad. At this moment, another monk and a Taoist priest appeared at the bow of the ship, approached Baoyu, and said, "Your worldly ties have been resolved. Why don't you leave now?" Before the words had finished, the 3 of them had already floated ashore and quickly disappeared. Jiazheng quickly got on shore to chase, but couldn't catch up at all. Vaguely, he only heard someone singing, "Where I reside, the peak of the green ridge. Where I wander in the vast sky. Who will wander with me, who will follow? Endless and boundless, returning to the wilderness." Jiazheng returned to the ship, and after calming down a bit, he told everyone about what he had just seen with Baoyu. The people suggested temporarily docking here and searching around, but Jiazheng sighed and said, "You don't know. This is something I saw with my own eyes, not some ghost or demon. When Baoyu was born, he had a piece of jade in his mouth, which was very strange. I knew from the beginning that it was not a good omen, but because the old lady loved him, he has been nurtured till now. Just now, that monk, I have seen him a few times before, and even this time when Baoyu was critically ill, he was the one who sent back the jade to cure him. I think Baoyu must have come down to earth to go through tribulations, and he has deceived the old lady for 19 years. Now I understand." With that, Jiazheng couldn't help but shed tears, and it's no wonder Baoyu's temperament has always been different from others. Later, Jiazheng wrote about the meeting with Baoyu in a letter home, sent it back, and comforted the family that they need not worry about him anymore. Lady Wang, upon receiving the letter, cried so much that she was on the verge of collapse, lamenting, "I've been worrying about him all my life. Who knew it would end up like this? If I had known earlier, why would I have married him in the first place, causing harm to the girl's family for nothing?" Bao Chai became even more heartbroken, crying uncontrollably. In the evening, Lady Wang and Aunt Shui discussed and planned to talk to Shiren about a proper marriage. Shiren has always been gentle and submissive by nature, and upon hearing Lady Wang and Aunt Shui's plan, she did not have any objections. After a while, Shiren's sister-in-law came to take her away, saying that she was going to be married off to the Jiang family in the south of the city, who have a house, land, and a shop front, and the man is also lively and spirited, although he is a bit older and has never been married. Interestingly, it was only after Shiren got married that she discovered her husband was none other than Jiang Yuhuan, who had once been close with Baoyu. Both of them were somewhat surprised, feeling as if their marriage had been destined. From then on, the husband and wife also lived in harmony.